we're both from Pennsylvania, the heartbread of sprint car racing. I'm from actually Meadville, Pennsylvania, in the northwest side. And Bob?
From Pennsylvania, out by Grandview Speedway, and we wound up relocating to Florida, and that's where I met Jim.
Yep. So our actual, I cut my teeth, you would say, in sprint car racing at East Bay Raceway in Florida. The days of Kenny Adams and Gene Lasker and some of those guys. We used to race with them quite often and finished in the top 10 there at East Bay back in the day.
Right. So we're here at Jackson Motor Speedway. Big ASCS race. Ton of cars here. I don't know, maybe one of the biggest sprint car races I've been to personally. We'll see how many cars show up. So tell me about the competition, man. What do you got going up with tonight?
Well, you know, we like to run with the national shows. It gets a lot of coverage. I think ASCS does a great job on the media side, and they bring some of the big guns. Like you said, you got Aaron Reitzel, who we ran real well with last night. But then you've got the Mississippi boys like Mike Miller, who's really tough. And we're out of the Mid-South. Our shop is out of Tennessee area. And so we cut our teeth there with Derek Hagar and Marshall Skinner and some of those guys. We're good friends with them, and racing with them is really great. Terry Gray, we do a little USCS stuff sometimes, but we really like the big national shows. Really helps us try to judge where we are competitive-wise against some of the big teams.
Awesome. And let's talk about your crew for a minute. I know you're real passionate about the guys that work on your car and do the things that they do for you. And you know, you expressed to me earlier, you know, what a considerable, I don't know the correct word, but I'm sure you feel it. Talk about your crew a little bit.
You know, I'm out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, and you know, our shop being in Tennessee. Bob Thompson and his son Caleb. We have who else? We have Mark,
Sidney Clark,
and Mark. We have a bunch of young guys, and they've been really helpful to Bob. And Bob he puts all the cars together. We have a great partnership in Tennessee with J&J Chassis, with Bonnie and Jack. They take real good care of us, and they help Bob along, and he puts the cars together, does a phenomenal job. I think we have some of the best equipment and always looks really sharp. Really proud of what he does, and it gives me the ability just to concentrate on my regular job that I do. I work for Hyatt Hotels, and you know, I can fly in. I meet the team up at different locations, and you know, it's you know, call it a little bit glamour life, right? I show up, I just jump in the car, and she's a rocket ship. And I think because we've been running on the national tour, on doing different stuff, Bob has really gotten excellent at his ability to just go to any track, and we unload and we're fast. He hits the setup, he spends a lot of time doing that with the guys and teaching them. And anything to add on that, Bob?
It's been my passion to be around sprint car racing, and my father was involved in racing, my brother involved in racing, he's a driver, and that's how I got started in the initial beginning of early childhood years. You know, working on race cars, my dad taught me, and we're very much detail oriented and getting things right, so that's what we do.
In other words, turn the bolt once, twice, 3 times, and that's enough? Or you do it one more time just to make sure?
We double check everything.
Yeah, we're, you know, I think that's one thing that our sponsors give us a lot of credit for. Being out here 20 years, this is my 20-year anniversary of running sprint cars, so that's been a long time. And we do it because we don't break. You know, we always have a car that finishes races. I think that's really big to all of our sponsors, and because you know, you get a lot of these young shoes that get out there and they blow a lot of money, they trash a lot of equipment, and they're in and out in a very quick amount of time. And we've had a long-standing relationship with folks because they know every year we're going to be out there and we're consistently running well.
Right, right. Awesome, man, awesome. So let's talk about your 20 years racing.
Yeah.
Where'd you start out? How'd you get into racing?
Well, like I said, I grew up in Pennsylvania, the
Right.
heartbred of sprint cars, and
Right.
and it was, some folks you connect with, and you're able to, work on teams and then work yourself into a ride. For me, I went to Penn State. I knew I needed to make money financially, and I said if I was ever going to race a sprint car, I needed to be successful in the business side of things to be able to own my own team, and that's really what I did. I worked into buying my first car was bought from Keith Butler. Who's a hot shoe out of really a pavement driver, Stan Butler, who's in the Hall of Fame. I bought our first car from them, and they kind of showed us the way. And my first crew chief was a gentleman by the name of Ron Armstrong that really started showing Bob and myself how to put cars together and how to take it. He used to run in the southeast here
Right.
in the day, and so between the Butlers and Armstrong, they helped us get started, and it took off from there. And we started running just at the East Bay Raceway. Then we started going regionally with USCS, and then we eventually have gone national, where we run now with the World of Outlaws, and we run with MOA and the All-Star Sprints, and we do 360 stuff obviously with ASCS, and
Right.
so we try to hit a lot of different series.
Well, I know you talked a little bit about your sponsors. Obviously, you wouldn't be here probably, maybe, I don't know, but tell me a little bit about the sponsors that are helping you get where you are today.
Yeah, Jack and Bonnie have been a huge help to us, being from Tennessee in the shop. They're with J&J Chassis, and in fact, they almost got a brand new car for us ready for our 410
Awesome.
car. So we're pretty excited about that new one, and Jack's really putting some good stuff behind it. Kind of all the tricks that they've been using with Donnie Schatz. He's going to try to put it on me and see how I can do with it. But Butler Built has been with us for a while. I mean, we're really big on safety. I've done some Butler Built videos, and that partnership's strong with Bell Racing helmets, Hinchman suits. That combination is important to us, safety. When you get a little older, it hurts a lot more when you crash, so you want to make sure you're in good stuff, and that we're going to walk away with just, and I had a doozy. I had a doozy about 3 years ago, Tri-City, in a 410 race that I hit the wall pretty head on, knocked me out briefly, but
Wow.
with the safety equipment we had, we were able to walk right away with that. Some of the stuff helping with our motor program this year, we have Ronnie Howard, does a lot of our motors. He's out of Memphis. He's a really good guy. We have K&N filters on. They've been really big help with us. Jericho Racing Engines out of Pennsylvania helps us with a lot of stuff, as well as Donnie Kreitz Jr. Anybody else I missed?
Derek Hager, Racing Suspensions.
Derek Hager, our shock program. This year we switched it up. We went with Derek Hager on the racing shock program too. And Wings Unlimited does our wing program. And we do
K&N.
The K&N filters, and then we have Dead A Head Designs does the design work on the car for the graphics that they do. And that's Danny Mazie out of Pennsylvania. So we do have that Pennsylvania, Tennessee kind of thing constantly going on with our team.
Awesome.
and how they help us out.
Excellent.
We've been staying with them pretty much throughout our whole racing career. It's similar with Donnie Schatz, what he has said, that he likes to stay with his group of people and stays loyal to them, and then he seems to marriage that partnership together really well, and then things can grow from there, and they'll help support you grow your racing.
deep within you. Racer, a race car driver is a special person, meaning that you have a drive that most people can't even fathom.
Yeah.
What is a race car driver in you? What is that?
You know, it is who I am. It's my DNA, actually. I think I had one of my bosses says he hired me because he knew that no matter what, I was going to be successful on the business side of things with Hyatt hotels, because without that, I couldn't race.
Right.
And so racing, he knows my love of that, and that's who I am as a person. You take that away, and Jim Perricone's not the same kind of guy, right? I'm not the happy-go-lucky kind of person, right? It is my makeup, and I think, like Bob touched on that, he grew up in that. It's in our blood. That's what we have in common between the two of us, and I mean, we think, drink, talk, racing 24 hours a day, every day, constantly, because it's what we love. But we know we have other things, we have other commitments we've got to do in life to do that. But to hang out on a weekend with in Mississippi right now at Jackson Motor Speedway with some top drivers and have that camaraderie among each other is just second to none. You can't beat that anywhere.
It is. If I was to jump in your truck, what CD's in your CD player? Florida
Georgia line.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
I love those guys.
Okay.
I'm country.
Yeah.
You know, I do like a lot of country.
Okay.
Do you like country?
Tim McGraw.
Tim McGraw? Yeah.
You know,
I'm with
Humble
you
and
there.
Kind right now
Yeah.
is a big hit. Tim McGraw, we like that. You know.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
we're country.
So
Or George Thorogood when we're at the racetrack. When we're trying
there
to
you
rock it up
go.
a little bit.
There you go. You had a track to build. Anywhere in the world you could build it. Where would you build it, and how big would it be?
I don't know. I mean, we have a love for Ohio and Pennsylvania.
Right.
I mean, in the summertime, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Lancaster. I think Lancaster is one of the coolest areas to be in the summertime. Love the dirt out there. Love the people. The green. It's beautiful countryside where Williams Grove is. I mean, we just love that place, and
Okay.
I think that would probably be it. Don't you think?
What are you thinking?
It's really hard to just travel. If I'm racing in the USA or just racing, just let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. It's because it pretty much blends. Racing is racing wherever you go.
Right.
As
Most
long as
memorable.
it's not raining, there we go.
There you go. Yeah. Right. Most memorable moment in your racing career. 20 years now. That's a long way. I'm older than you, so I know exactly what that means. 20 years of racing.
2 years ago,
So, yeah.
Steve Kinzer farewell tour, right? We got invited by a bunch of people to go up to Bloomington, Indiana, his hometown. World of Outlaw race. I got to start the heat race right next to Steve Kinzer, Mark Kinzer, Donnie Schatz, all in the heat race. And I looked beside me and that was it, man, right? I mean, it was his farewell tour, last race, and and the place was packed, standing line only,
Right.
standing crowd only.
Right.
So,
right. Definitely. Tell me, what was your hardest moment, man?
probably the worst was Tri-City Speedway up in destroyed the car. But I think J&J has used that, Butler Built has used that as a safety, the photos and the video.
Sure.
Because not one weld broke on that J&J chassis, which was unbelievable. And the car was completely bent the other way. And to walk away from that was a testament of what we do and how we believe and stand behind all those safety sponsors that we have on our car.
Right.